I'm Casey Patey of theinspiredoffice.com. I'm a professional organizer focusing on offices and paper, coming to you from my very own home office here in Silver Spring, Maryland. As you can glean, it's a home office slash dining table, messy cords and all. And today I want to share with you 6 corners of invisible clutter that I think you could be organizing during quarantine right now. Of course, when we think decluttering, we think the things we can see and touch and feel, such as paper and closets and garages, clothing, kitchens. But there's something uniquely satisfying about sorting, purging, organizing the deep, dark little pockets of life that don't take up physical space. So the good news is there's something just supremely satisfying about digging deep and just kind of scraping through these corners of your life, your digital life, to find freshness and order. But the bad news is, because they're deep and dark and invisible and there are 6 of them, it kind of suggests that you never get it done. And that's sort of true, but at least there's kind of an endless opportunity to find some space and find some order and all of the joy that comes with that. So let's jump into number 1. The number 1 invisible corner of your world that I think you could be organizing right now during quarantine is your inspiration. I actually went through my very own inspiration. These were from my files about 2 weeks ago, and I was surprised that I was able to throw out so much that no longer inspired me. All of this is the trash that came from these 2 folders. And some of it's still beautiful, but it just doesn't speak to me. It doesn't make my heart sing. So just because it's beautiful, if it's not inspiring me, it's going to go in the trash. And the beautiful thing about going through this was, for the first time in probably a dozen years, I actually did create a vision board, a very real vision board that's upstairs. So if your inspiration is hard copy, if it's digital, it's a wonderful thing to go through right now. The second deep, dark corner of life that I think you could be going through right now are your digital photos. In a perfect world, I sort mine at the end of every week on Friday. Sometimes that happens every 3 or 4 weeks, but what that looks like is I have Google Photos and then I have Evernote. So again, many videos could be done on how to organize your photos, but I want to point out that it's a very satisfying place to start. And what I want you to have in mind when you're organizing your digital photos is that your photos are one of 2 things. They're either memories, they're family pictures, cat pictures, baby pictures, or they're information. Nowadays, when I go through my phone and my clients go through their phone, they realize half the pictures on there are screenshots. There are pictures of books that a friend recommended, they're food products they want to try. They're like resources and reference and information, and we treat those very differently. For me, those go to Evernote and the memories go to Google Photos. The third deep dark corner you could organize are text messages. Text messages can be found on your phone, your iPad, your computer in some cases, and it's amazing to go through them and realize, oh my goodness, how did I end up with 150 texts? Like, these are conversations that died months ago in some cases. Why are they taking up space on my phone? And the reason why I think a lot of people don't necessarily go through them is because they're more than meets the eye. I know when I go through my own text messages, I find pictures that clients have texted me of their space. And a lot of those I have to send into Google Photos, and I have to organize those with my client pictures. But going through the text messages forces you to do that and just kind of reconcile all of the information in your life that matters that you've captured in the last week or 2. Number 4, I want you to go through your digital files. Again, this is probably not something you're going to get done in a day, but that accounts for your external hard drives, your actual hard drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, you name it. And again, it's not something you necessarily check off This could take many, many sittings. It could be something you've been putting off, but I just want to kind of shine a light as that being an area that is absolutely worth paying attention to, because the more clutter that piles up on your hard drive, it doesn't just take up hard drive space, but it takes up space up here. And then the more you save, the less you trust that you're able to retrieve when you need to. Number 5, I think everybody with Evernote right now should be doing a deep purge of their Evernote. I'm an Evernote certified consultant, and I've been creating notes and notebooks since 2012. I look forward to the day where I allow myself the joy and pleasure of sitting on the couch and decluttering my Evernote. But what usually happens is, because I enjoy doing that so much, I kind of use it as a procrastination tool. And in the middle of a work day and writing blog posts, I kind of find myself taking 15-20 minutes and scraping through Evernote. I think the fastest and easiest way to do that is to just click on All Notes and scroll way to the bottom, because All Notes organizes them chronologically. And in my case, at the very bottom is where I have notes from 2012, 13, 14, 15. And the older they are, the more likely they are to have sort of self-expired. And it's really fun to see what mattered to me back then that doesn't anymore. And you will find some treasures. You will find some needles in the haystack of your Evernote that you forgot you had that are still of interest. And this is a time, of course, where you can rename them, you can edit them, you can retag them, and enjoy them and keep them useful. The 6th deep dark area you can organize is your contacts. So we're talking about, if you're an iPhone user, just the contacts on your phone that maybe sync with the contacts in your iCloud on your computer. I haven't checked mine in a while, but I think I have somewhere between like 700, give or take. And contacts are really interesting to go through and see what comes up, because on one hand, it's easy because you think, I haven't talked to this person in 10 years, I haven't talked to this person in 5 years, or I don't even know who this person is, I didn't make any notes as to who they were and why they're relevant. But when you delete a contact, what comes up for people is like, oh, I'm literally cutting them out of my life forever. I mean, if somebody reminds me who this person is and how they once were important and how they could be again, I'm like terrified to completely release that. So it's just kind of an exercise in trusting the universe that if you don't remember Joe Schmo with a random area code and no notes, you know, such is life. Sometimes you just have to let things go so you can enjoy the empty space. So those are the 6 deep, dark corners, invisible corners of clutter that I think quarantine makes for a wonderful time to sit down and organize. Again, you know, if you'd rather focus on the things you can see, touch, and feel, that's wonderful. If you need a break from all of that and you just kind of want to scrape bottom of some of your digital life, this directs you, hopefully, and gives you some very specific places to look. Let's run through that once again. The 6 pockets of invisible clutter to organize are your inspiration, be it hard copy or digital, your digital photos, your text messages, your digital files, your Evernote, and your contacts. I hope that was helpful. That's going to keep you busy forever. You will never get to the bottom of it, and you will never get it done, but that's okay. That's part of being a modern human being with all of this technology. Please share in the comments if this was helpful. Please share if there's a invisible pocket of clutter in your life that you feel like should have made this list. I'm really curious to see what you guys are digging into these days. Again, I am Casey Patey of theinspiredoffice.com. Professional organizer here in Silver Spring, Maryland. I travel nationwide for clients. I work in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and of course I work digitally. So please visit theinspiredoffice.com for more. Thank you so much for stopping by.